Hello, Shalom Aleichem, Good Tevach. We have an interesting lesson today on how to learn the Rambam Yomi. This is the Sefer Hamitzvos Leharambam of every day. Let's take a look. It's a very good article I saw in the Jewish press, and it tells us different aspects of it, three different tracks of how to do it. Let's take a look at it right now. Here, this is the Rebbe's Guide to Learn the Daily Rambam. On the first day of the year, a great triple celebration took place. The celebration was for those who learned 3 chapters of Rambam each day. The conclusion of the 42nd cycle. The celebration for those who learned and celebrated. The celebration for those who learned 1 chapter each day, the conclusion of the 14th cycle, and the celebration of those who learned the Rambam's Sefer Hamitzvos. This here is the Rambam's Sefer Hamitzvos, Rambam, in parallel with the 3-chapter-a-day schedule. How to learn daily Rambam. Those capable follow a 3-chapter-per-day schedule, completing the Mishnah Torah in slightly less than 1 year. For those unable to study 3 chapters every day, the Rebbe suggested a parallel track at a more modest pace of 1 chapter daily, which lasts nearly 3 years. So one can complete that in 3 years. If one learns 1 chapter every day, 1 chapter per day. For those who find even that too difficult, the Rebbe instituted yet a 3rd track, parallel to the 3-chapter per day regimen, by learning daily about the same commandments being studied there in detail. This one explores Maimonides' significantly shorter Sefer HaMitzvot, Book of Commandments, concluding all 613 mitzvot each year. The Mishnah Torah was not written only for great Torah scholars. The Rambam writes that he composed it in a clear, unambiguous style for all Jews. Lekatan Kigadol, for the small as for the great. There are some benefits one derives from learning Rambam. It's relatively quick. When the Rebbe initiated the campaign in the spring of 1984, this is by Rabbi Shmuel Butman. When the Rebbe initiated the campaign in the spring of 1984, he recommended studying either 3 chapters daily or 1 chapter a day. While committing to study 3 chapters daily may seem daunting, studying 1 chapter a day is a much more manageable option. You'll connect with thousands of fellow learners. In a talk launching the campaign, the Rebbe stressed that studying 1 topic in tandem with thousands of others connects everyone to one another and to God. In addition, the Rebbe established the 3rd track, learning Sefer HaMitzvot. That's the Sefer of the Commandments, which is even more accessible. Thus, everyone is included. You'll master the entire Torah. This is no small feat. Even seasoned scholars who study Talmud for hours each day do not necessarily have a comprehensive knowledge of all the laws of the Torah. But by studying Rambam, one gains knowledge of the entire corpus of Torah law, achieving the goal of knowing, quote, the entire Torah. You'll gain more Torah knowledge each day. Learning Torah is so essential that it is equated to all other mitzvot. Whether you simply read through the daily portion or spend time plumbing the depth, you'll make sure your day is grounded in Torah learning. You'll help bring Mashiach, the unity of Torah and Klal Yisrael, will greatly hasten the coming of Mashiach, as the Rambam quotes at the end of his Sefer. And the world will be full with the knowledge of Hashem as the waters cover the sea. Rabbi Shmuel Butman is the director of the Lubavitch Youth Organization. He can be reached at lubavitchyouth@gmail.com. So here, this is the Sefer Mitzvot L'Rambam. So if one learns a mitzvah of every day, learning the Sefer Mitzvot. This is learning the Sefer Mitzvot, which is even more accessible. Learning Sefer Mitzvot, which is even more accessible. So let's see. That's the third track. A third track, parallel to the 3 chapters per day regimen, by learning daily about the same commandments, being studied there in detail. This one explores Maimonides' significantly shorter Sefer HaMitzvot, Book of Commandments, concluding all 613 mitzvot each year. So in other words, if one learns this Sefer HaMitzvot, Rambam, one lesson each day, so one can finish in a year, one can finish the whole Sefer HaMitzvot, the Sefer of the learning of the Torah, and one can learn it and be connected with all of the thousands of other Yidden learning it, and it's quite doable. These days, I'm sure there must be English translations of this, the Sefer Mitzvot Rambam. So one can learn it. We can learn it in English. We can learn it in Hebrew, and that'll be a great thing. Here, this is a little bit more on the Rambam. This is Rabbi Moshe ben Maimon, the Rambam. The Rabbeinu Moshe ben Maimon, the Rambam. The history of Israel, rich in heroes of the human spirit, has produced very few personages who can be compared to Rabbi Moshe ben Maimon, the Rambam, who was a genius in all fields of spiritual endeavor. He appeared like a brilliant burst of lightning in his generation, and has remained in the hearts and minds of his people as a bright star whose light shines forth through the ages. To this day, he is venerated as the most important Jewish philosopher and the greatest codifier of halacha. So we have this. We can do a little. Let's take a look at this Sefer here. This Sefer here is called Giants of the Spirits, 20 biographies of outstanding sages and rabbis, translated from the Hebrew by Benjamin Huffman. And this is, Ephraim Taubenhaus, Giants of the Spirit, 20 biographies of outstanding sages and rabbis. So this has 20 outstanding sages and rabbis. And this has the pictures of them. So, okay, anyway, so we have the Rambam in there. This is Giants of the Spirit. So that's certainly available to be purchased. We can look for it. One can look for it. So anyway, this can be learned. Sefer Mitzvot Rambam. One mitzvah every day, and one can learn the entire Torah. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you so much. And Zeit Matzliach, much success. Kultur.